All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Hi, Precious. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm on the road, but I'll be listening. I'm coming from somewhere to do some physical work.
Oh, that's fine. Nice to see you. Hi, Ajok. You're welcome. Hi, Apio. Welcome. So we are just letting more people joining, and we'll start in like a minute. But in the meantime, Apio, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Can you you want to say hi, or can you mute so that it does not interfere? Please feel free to interact in the chat. Let's know your name and your scholar status and where you're joining from. So we're giving like a minute for more participants to join, and we'll kick off. Welcome, Sharon. Welcome, Mariam. I see Dr. Nazai. Welcome.
Thank you, Success.
Thank you, Nazai. Okay, I think we can begin now. We're still having more people join in. So please use the chat, introduce yourself. And Phoebe is asking how our Saturday is going, so you can add that in the chat. Mine is going well. It's been a productive Saturday so far. So I'm really happy to be here with you all. And my name is Success, and I'm from Nigeria. I'm a graduate scholar from Nigeria, and I'll be moderating today's session. So please introduce yourself in the chat. Let's know the country you're joining from, and let's know how your weekend is going. So this meeting is going to be very interactive. We're talking about communication. So in real essence, we're going to communicate effectively in this meeting. And we have our guest speaker here with us. It's such an honor. We have Wemimo Onikon. Wemimo is someone speaking? Okay. So I'm going to be introducing Wemimo right now. If you're not speaking, please kindly mute. And if you want to speak, you can raise your hand. But let me just introduce Wemimo briefly. Thank you. So Wemimo Onikon is a corporate communications leader with over 13 years of experience helping organizations and individuals communicate with clarity, confidence, and purpose. With a career that spans the nonprofit, public, and private sectors, she has guided teams and leaders in amplifying their voice, aligning messaging with impact, and building visibility from inside out. Her work is grounded in the belief that effective communication is not just about what you say, it is about how you connect. Whether shaping internal narratives or leading strategic campaigns, Wemimo brings a thoughtful, people-centered approach that helps individuals and organizations show up with intention and influence. She holds a master's degree in strategic communications and has completed advanced studies in crisis and change communication planning at Cornell University. It's such an honor to have you with us today, Wemimo. And at this point, I would encourage everyone to be as engaged as possible. And I hope that we all get the best from this session. Over to you, Wemimo. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. In my part of the world, it's morning, still kind of bright and early here. I imagine it's, for some people it's afternoon, for some people it's evening. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining from. And thank you so much, Success, for introducing me. It's such an honor to be here. I was sharing with some people and I said to them, like, this is the third time I'm coming to WMI to share it. It's always a joy to be here and see the great work that you're doing. I know that Success had mentioned earlier for you all to introduce yourself in the chat. Okay, so I'm going to take it on from here and just remind us like, hey, my name is Wemimo, okay? I help organizations and individuals to communicate with their audiences, to showcase the impact of their work while building visibility for their brands. Like Success mentioned, I've been doing this for the last 13 years. I've learned a couple of things. 13 years, that's something. I've learned a couple of things I believe that I would be able to share with you all. I believe that you would learn a couple of things from me. I look forward to learning from you all too. So feel free to engage. And we would like to see that engagement from now. So I will be looking into the chat, or maybe Success and the team can help check in the chat. Please introduce yourself, okay? I would love, love, love to know where you are joining from. Just tell me your name, tell me where you're joining from, and tell me what you do. So 3 things: your name, what you do, and where you're joining from, okay? If you could just do that, that would be amazing. Okay, let me peep into the chat. Okay, I'm seeing some chats coming in. Hello, David Joseph from Nigeria. Hi, David. Good to have you. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, Sharon from Zambia. Thank you, Sharon, for joining. Precious from Eswatini. Thank you so much, Precious, for being here. I see Ajok Abit from South Sudan. Thank you, Ajok. Good to have you. Miriam from Zambia. Bernadette from Uganda. That's great. I'm so glad to have you all on the call at this time. And hopefully we'll have more people join us as we go along. In today's session, I'm going to be sharing a couple of things with us. As I was preparing the slides, I was thinking to myself that I feel like this session would be an opportunity for lots and lots of personal reflection. Okay, so today I'm going to be sharing with you things around your values, things around your authentic voice, and how that impacts effective communication. And I would also be, as much as possible, triggering us to share. Okay, so if you're hiding at the back, just somewhere, behind your screen, get ready to get some pokes from me to share. All right, so I would love that you share some of the things we're doing here. It's a workshop, so get ready to actually engage that way. And you'll be having lots of reflection, like I mentioned. And also we'll be having practical ways to amplify your voice through communication. I would be sharing with you on those things. But as much as possible, I want to encourage you that please use the chat function. So sometimes, the session is going on and you can't wait till the end for the Q&A, but at that moment you have this burning question. By all means, please throw it into the chat. And as we go along, I would get to answer your questions. We would have a Q&A section at the end, but I would answer your questions, as we go along. So feel free to just drop them in. If you have thoughts, you have ideas, you have contributions, please use the chat function. All right. So at the end of this session, one thing that you would expect to happen from here is you should feel clearer about who you are. All right. You should feel clear about who you are at the end of this session. You should feel, clearer about what your unique voice is. You should also feel clearer about owning your own voice, finding the courage to own your own voice. And you would leave this session also having a better understanding of how you can communicate with your unique voice, whether it is professionally or personally. Okay, and also to mention before I go ahead that as much as possible, don't see this session as, okay, Wemimo has spoken about this, we're here, we just talk, I take notes and I step away, but see this as a trigger, because this is just the beginning of a conversation. It's just the beginning of some deep work. There's a whole lot more deep work that you would need to do even outside of this session. So whatever we're doing here, whatever reflections you're doing here, take personal notes of them at the end of this session and even at other times in your private space, your private moments. Take time to just reflect over them, answer questions. A lot of things would unravel and get clearer to you as you move along. You won't figure them all out today. So also just take notes of that as we move ahead. All right, are we good? Is everybody good? Are we, if you're good and you're finding there, can you give me a thumbs up just so I know that I'm not the only one here? So I know if you can hear me and see me okay, and if we're good to start. All right. So we'll start off first with values. And I thought to myself as I was getting ready for this presentation, I was thinking to myself about amplifying your voice for effective communication. It's easy to just say, okay, just communication. We just talk, we send emails or we write things and that's it. No, it's much more. There's the background work, especially when it comes to the place of your identity, the place of showing up, the place of being able to be successful in every area of your life, right? Communication is important in that sense. But what are your values? I would check the chat. Okay, I know that it's a bit quiet now, but please use the chat, let me know. Or if you want to unmute, you can also do that. And just let me know when you hear the word values, what comes to your mind? What comes to your mind when you hear values? What comes to your mind when you see the word? When somebody says, oh, what are your values? What are your values in that sense? What does that say to you? Appeal, if you're there, or Precious, or David, Sharon. I see a number of you are there, but you're muted. Let me know. When someone says, what are your values? What does that mean to you? Okay, I see something in the chat. Success says, what defines me or what I hold dear? True, yes. What defines you? I like that. Any other thoughts, Phoebe? Values for me is what I stand for. Right. Yes, yes. What you stand for, what you hold dear, what is important to you. I see Precious. Precious says an internal compass pointing towards what feels meaningful, important, or right. Love it. Love it. Yes, we're all correct. Your values basically are those things that define you. Oh, I see another one from David. David says they are the beliefs that guide someone's actions. Yes, the beliefs that guide your actions, the beliefs that determine what you do. It's like you're starting to peep into my notes. But yes, you're on the right. Everybody's on the right track. We're all speaking what I have really. Your values really are the principles and beliefs that define you, that the principles and beliefs that guide your choices every day and your life decisions. They are what you hold dear, what is important to you. Very similar to the things that we've shared, and I like Precious's definition as well. An internal compass. You don't necessarily, it's just there in your mind. It determines the decisions you make and how you make those decisions, right? So your values are the foundation of your voice. If you're not clear about what truly matters to you, that you're not clear about what you're saying, you're not clear about why you say what you say. When you speak, for instance, you show up online or even at work or in the community or wherever you are, your words can feel scattered or uncertain, or sometimes it can even feel pretentious. You say one thing and then it appears like, oh, that's not really what Precious means. I'm not sure it's really authentic to what Phoebe it doesn't feel true to her. You know, so it's important that you're clear about your values and you know what it is that are important to you. All right, so when you don't know what you stand for, it becomes really hard to speak with conviction. It becomes hard to set boundaries for your life. Okay, anything anybody says, they give you a task at work, or you know, you're given a task on your team or something. You just, you know, you're just everywhere, just available to do just any and everything. But that shouldn't be, you know. So when you're not clear about what you stand for, sometimes it's difficult to attract the right opportunities. Because even when there's an opportunity, someone is not even sure if that's fitting for you, if that's something that you would typically go for or not. It's difficult also to be able to advocate for yourself and others when you're not clear about what exactly is your internal compass, what exactly drives you. And you know, communicating your personal and business brand effectively will be difficult as well if you're not clear about your values. You know, so to truly amplify your voice, whether in business, in leadership, or in life generally, you need to get grounded in your values first. All right, that's where clarity comes from. That's where courage comes from to speak up. And that's where consistency comes from as well. You know, so think of it this way: your voice is how you speak, but your values is the why you speak up at meetings, why you speak up when certain things are happening, why you speak up for certain topics and not certain other topics. I remember one time in my life, I used to have a non-profit project that I ran, and I was speaking up. It was sort of like an advocacy type project, and it was speaking up on speaking up against gender-based violence, you know, with young people, and I was passionate about it. And for me, one of my values, you know, at the time was that I just didn't want any injustice, especially against young people, especially against children. And so it drove me into, even in terms of the kind of job opportunities that were coming, I was very particular about the kind of jobs I wanted, the kind of spaces I wanted to be in. Okay, so the values in that sense, you know, for me, drove the kind of work, the kind of opportunities I was interested in, the kind of work I was not interested in. And I hope that's clear and that makes sense. All right. So you cannot amplify your voice if you're not clear on your values. All right. And so that's important for us to take note of. So I want to do a quick activity now. I know that, you know, there's a lot of comments in the chat already about how your value is what you believe in. Your value is what drives you. Your value is what is important to you. I want you to look at a list of values that will be shared in the chat. Success, I would need you here to just drop in the chat, if you can. There's a PDF, just an example of, a couple of examples of what your values can be. And I want you all to go into that. And this is a personal reflection moment, but you're going to look into the examples of the values that have been highlighted there and do a quick self-reflection. What would be your 5 top core values based on what you see in that list? And if there are other ones that also are your values but are not in the list, by all means, feel free to also write them down. Okay. Please check your chat. I'm not sure if that link works though in that way. You may need to download. Can you let me know if you are able to see what Success sent? There's a list of values that I want her to. I'm not sure if you all can see that. Or can you try again, Success? You can send it as rather than send it as a link. Oh yeah, it's not working, I imagine. Precious, thank you for letting us know. So if you can just send it as a document versus a link, I think that might work. Okay, see if you can do that. Let me know if that works or not. But yeah, that. So you should have the idea basically is you look into that long list and see for yourself if there's the values that personally you're already holding there, if they're in that list. If they're not in that list, can you identify your 5 top core values? And then you take note of that. We'll be going into another section where we would actually utilize the list that you've built out. Okay. Success, let me know if you eventually are able to get that.
Really trying to do that.
Okay, great. Thank you. It's not working. The link is not clickable. Yes, I see that. We'll try to see if we can send that over.
But if you copy and paste it, it works, but I'm not sure if you can do
I'm not
that.
sure if the copy and paste works in that. Like you need to send it. Are you able to send it as a document in the chat?
No, I'm unable to do that in the chat. It's not a function I can pull up, but I'm just trying to see another way to do it.
Okay. All right, that's fine. So while that is going on, that's okay. While Success is trying to help us over there, I guess we just keep going ahead. But just take notes, start just while you're there. If you already know the values that you hold dear, please write them down. Okay. So while Success is trying to help us check that, you just keep doing your work at the side. Take note of the values, but I want to see your 5 top values. And if you already know them, you can actually share in the chat. And share in the chat, let me know if anybody's willing to share. If you already identify some of your core values that you already know, feel free to throw them into the chat. Let me know what your core values are. Okay, while Success is trying to help us over there. All right, so while that is happening, let's talk about voice. Okay, now we've talked about values. We know that values are the things that you hold dear. We know that values are the things that determine your moral compass. Thank you, Success. I think Success has tried to share something. Just let me know if you're able to access that, everybody. All right, so like I said, we'll just go on with that, but you can also look at that at the side and take note of the values that you hold there. So your voice, okay, because of time, we'll just keep going ahead. Your voice it's built on your values, okay? Because when we talk about amplifying your voice through effective communication, your voice is built on your value. First, you need to identify what it is that you hold dear, what it is that is important to you, and that then determines how you speak up, or what you speak up about, or what you choose to be silent about. Okay. All right. So, what's your voice? Just before I proceed, can you please let me know if you can access what Success shared? I just need to be sure that we're good on that end, or if we're still struggling. A thumbs up is fine, or just some way to let me know that you can see the list of values that Success shared. Hello, are we still there? You can see it up here. Thank you. Oof, thank you for bailing us out there. Okay, awesome. All right, thank you so much, Athanase. Lovely name. Thank you, Athanase. All right, awesome, Ajok. Thank you. Okay, so just based on that, like I said, just do that at the side while I keep going ahead. Take note of, look at that long list and identify 5 core values that are, what drives you. And just take note of that as you proceed. We'll come back to it later. All right, so your voice comprises your values, all right, plus your perspective, plus your way of expressing truth, your perspective of life, the way you see life, and that is your voice. That adds up together. I'll put it that way. That adds up together to your voice. Okay, so having clearly identified what your values are, what are the things that drive me, what are the things that move, what are the things that are important to me, and then the way you see the world, and how you choose to speak up about certain things, is your voice. Okay, and it shows up in different ways. Okay? It could show up as how you speak, how you write, whether online or at work or at school. I know some of you are probably still in school right now. So even the way you write and the way you engage overall, the way you communicate your thoughts, your ideas. All right. It shows up also in how you carry yourself, the way you engage with people, the way you speak up about issues, even the way you dress. Okay. And how you show up overall. All right, so your voice is your unique expression, really. It's what defines who you really are. It's what makes you different from everybody else, okay? And it impacts how you show up and how you communicate with other people. So I have another activity I want us to do here, and I call it your voice, your brand. Okay, it's a mirror exercise, a bit of reflection as well, as you start to refine. First we've done the part of your values, right? You start to refine, okay, what exactly drives me? Why do I do the things I do? What do I believe in about the world? What do I believe in about my work? What do I believe in about what I'm doing? Okay, and now bring that into your voice. Okay, so this activity this time around, again, reflection still, but I want you to, now, I'm speaking with the assumption that you've taken note of your 5 values, okay? But I want you to all do this. Okay, and we're going to have a section where we'll actually talk about the things that you've discovered. All right, so in your notepad, if you have a notepad, an actual notepad, or your notepad on your phone, or some way to write down. Okay, I want you to write now, what topics do I deeply care about? Okay, when I say I don't mean myself, I mean you. So what topics do you deeply care about or feel strongly speaking up about? What naturally, how do you naturally express yourself? Are you bold generally? Are you naturally confident, or sometimes you're slightly timid? Just take note of that and write it down. Okay, are you great with humor or not? So whatever it is that probably people have told you a few things about you that resonates with you, take note of that, write it down. All right, we do this activity for the next couple of minutes. Let me know. And also the brand, and then the second part of this activity is, how do other people experience you? Oops, let's go back there. Okay, how do other people experience you? Okay, so how do people describe you? What have people said about you in the past? Sometimes you're not sure. I'm like, I'm not really sure about myself, but at least other people you can remember, okay, things that other people have said about you. Oh, one of the things I know people say about me is, oh, Mama is very approachable. She's friendly. I found that over time, that became like it had become my brand over time, even at work, even in my career and all of that. I show up knowing that even as a leader, I'm one leader you can approach. I'm one leader with a human face. It has become a brand and a part of me. So what have people said about you, okay, and the way you show up? And what do you want to be known for professionally in your business? Some of you, I imagine, you run businesses. Some of you are students. Some of you are career people. You have a regular 9-to-5 job. But what do you want to be known for? Beyond your job, beyond what you're studying in school, if you're a student, right? Beyond what you're doing at the moment, what exactly do you want to be known for? And is there a gap between how you feel inside and the impression people have of you? Okay. All right, so let me know, please let me know if that's going on already. Please, you should be doing this activity. And it's kind of weird when you're having this workshop style events and then people are just on the other side of the screen and you're not even sure if they're there. I believe you're there, right? Okay. Can you let me know if you're there? I appreciate, some thumbs up, some form of hi. Just let me know if you're there. Put in the chat a thumbs up. It's just fine to know that you are there. All right. So can we do this activity together? The next couple minutes, or just block a 3-minute time there? Okay. So what topics do you care about deeply? You're there. Thank you, Apu. Thank you for saving the day. So what topics do you care deeply about? How do you naturally express yourself? How do other people describe you, right? Can you do that? And if you've done it already and you want to share, that'll be amazing. Okay, I'm timing us and we'll be wrapping this up in a moment. Yeah, that's so Athena say thank you. All right, so what topics do you care deeply about? How do you naturally express yourself, right? And how would other people describe you when you show up? What do you want to be known for? And it's great, it's fantastic if what you want to be known for is already what you're doing now. That's fantastic. But even if what you want to be known for is not what you're doing right now, but you're working towards it, that's great too. But take a note of that. Okay, do we have any bold person that wants to share with the rest of us? Okay, what did you discover? Anybody wants to share? I'm leaving it on this slide a bit so that we can still see the question while we're reflecting. Okay, anybody wants to share with us? You can choose to share in the chat, or you can actually choose to unmute your microphone. I'd like that as well. That's totally fine. Okay, I see someone is unmuted or someone's trying to speak. I'm just run through and see. Sarah, I see Sarah. Hi, Sarah, are you trying to speak? I think Sarah, you're unmuted. Oops, Sarah is muted back. All right. Anybody done with this activity, or how is it making you feel? Are you discovering anything? Is anything popping up in your mind? Are you able to share with us? Okay, so how do people describe you? All right, and what do you want to be known for? Okay, seems like, did I hear someone? No, it doesn't appear so. Okay, I think we just move ahead because of our time. Hopefully you get to work on that. Oh, I see David. Okay, David Joseph says, others describe me as too spiritual, but I don't think I am. Also humorous, but not to all people. Or only those I knew and adapt for sometimes. Interesting. Thank you, David, for being honest with that feedback. That's interesting to know. It's good to take note of what people say about you, right? Because in a way, that's kind of your brand. After a while, people start to, the things you do consistently, people start to see that and take note of that and start to know that this is who you are. Okay, the other things in there, did you get to reflect on those as well? Precious says, they admire my ability to dream boldly while staying practical. And I would say I am part of the team that dreams, plans, and does. Amazing. I love it. That's a beautiful thing for people to know. Now, there are people that that when you have a task, you know that if I give it to so-and-so person, they will do it. You know, and the vibe I get freshers is you're one of those sort of people. So at work, at school, there's a project to be done, there's something to be done. So would that be correct to say if I send it to freshers, I know that she will do it? You know, when Precious says, yes, I'm going to do it, I'll work on this assignment, she will get it done. Okay, Precious, is that correct? Okay, so your ability to dream boldly, stay practical, definitely love it, love it, love it. Okay, so that's part of your brand, right? And I know that this is reflection, like I said, see this presentation, this session as a trigger, even beyond now. Keep reflecting over it, keep writing down the things that you discover by yourself, the things that you hear people say about you, the things that you find drive you, because they would impact how you communicate generally in your life. All right, thank you okay, we've done this part. Thanks for sharing that. That has been helpful. You know, so your voice is a tool to showcase your values. People respond to clarity, confidence, and conviction. When you're convinced about the things you do and why you do it, people respond positively to that. But when you show up in the meeting, you show up in class, you know, there's a project to be done, you're looking for someone to get it done, and you're sounding so unsure, you're sounding like you're not, you know, you don't sound like you know what you're saying, or you're convinced about what you're saying, or you're passionate about what you're saying. Even for your organization, when, you know, if you have a small organization, a nonprofit, donors are looking for who to give funding. They won't give funding to the one who is unsure, right? They would give funding to the organization that is sure, that is able to clearly articulate what they are able to do and the value that they bring. All right, so that's very, very important. Thank you for that. All right, let's look at effective communication. Now, you know, sometimes we kind of throw words around, you know, communication, but what's that? What exactly is that? What is that? Okay. Again, use the chat. Like I said, it's workshop style, so quite some engagements here, lots of questions, lots of reflection, lots of using the chat. Okay. So let me see your thoughts in the chat. Now, when we say effective communication, what exactly is that? You know, it's one thing to communicate. To start with, when you look at that word, I see it's two parts. Okay, so you can communicate and yet it's effective, or you can communicate and it's ineffective. Okay, so you're writing emails, you're sharing posts online, you're talking to your boss at work, you're sending an email to Success about something, or you're asking for funding, you know, for you're already a scholar, or you want to become, you're trying to engage somebody else, or send the opportunity for someone to apply for a scholarship next year, whatever. You can communicate and say all the great, like, it's possible for all of your communication to be effective, and it's possible for it not to be. So, okay, I see Sarah. Sarah, you want to say something? Please go ahead. I think your network is breaking. Hi, Sarah. Are you trying to speak? Oh, I think Sarah has technical glitches there. Sarah, you can use the chat function. That is fine as well. Okay, you can use the chat function. That works as well. Oh, talking about chat function, I see Success says how information is shared in a way that the person on the other end is receiving exactly the message you intended them to receive. Love it. Love it. Yes. Apio says, I understand it as making meaningful statements. So it's possible, Apio, it's possible for you to make a statement and what you said totally does not make sense. So it's possible to say something that doesn't make sense. It's possible to say something and you know, it's meaningful. Thank you for that. That's so true. David says, ability to communicate in a way that is comprehensive and satisfiable to the audience. True. Precious, making sure your message is truly understandable. Completely, you're all very correct. Yes. So you can say all the many things, you can write your many emails, you can write you know, your statement of purpose, why I should be the one to get this scholarship. I've worked so hard. You say everything and yet you don't get it. It's not because they don't like you. It's not because they gave it to the other person and they didn't give it to you, because not if you communicated clearly, you were probably going to get it. All right, so Onesai, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Onesai or Onesai.
No, it's Onesai. The first
Onesai,
time was
amazing.
correct.
Yay.
So maybe I'll just highlight what I wrote. So effectively communicating means that you relay the message in a manner that the receiver understands, but while still maintaining the initial message that you wanted to send. So, for example, if I wanted to say buy books, and I say, may you kindly buy books tomorrow, something like that. It's a difficult example to give, but the fact that the person is going to buy books, the end goal is that they buy books. So if they do not buy books when you intended for them to buy books, then you have not effectively communicated.
I love it. Love it. Thank you so much, Onesai. Yes, in a nutshell. So your ability to clearly convey your message in a way that is understood, is well received, is actionable by your intended audience. So if you wanted them to buy books and you have said everything, you have written your social media post, you have written an email, you have created a flyer, you have done all these things, and they still didn't buy the books, then the question is, did you communicate clearly? Do they even understand what exactly you want them to do? Do they understand what action that you want them to take? So what does effective communication look like? I'm going to throw in some scenarios here, okay? And I want us to again chip in, share. You can use the chat function. That works perfectly fine as well. All right, let's look at this scenario, okay? You've been asked to introduce yourself, right? You're at a networking event, maybe one organized by WMI, or an event, if you're a student, probably something, an event at school or someplace. And somebody asks you, hey, Jane, hey, Anissa, what do you do? And then let's look at these two responses, okay? And please let me know which one is effective, which one isn't. Okay, so the first response, you go, I run a business, it's kind of like consulting, but it's not really consulting, but I run, and you kind of sound that way. So that's the first response. The second person responds, they ask, oh, what do you do? The second person says, oh, I'm the founder of a creative studio, helping small businesses show up with confidence online. Is there any effective communication happening here or no? Okay. Which one is a stronger response in both responses? Is it response 1 or response 2? I see Sarah. Sarah, I see your hands up. Did you want to respond to that?
Okay. Yeah. I initially wanted to respond to the previous question you asked, but my network keeps coming up and off. So, okay, for this, I would say the second response is more effective because the speaker is precise, she's clear, and she's also confident about what she's doing. So she's communicating effectively. While the first response shows that the person is not even sure of what he or she does. So she's just like trying to sound like she's doing something while she's really not doing anything. So I'll say the second response is more convincing and effective.
Thank you, Sarah. I love that. It's precise, it's confident. The second response, shows that this person knows what he's talking about, right? Okay, so I'm the founder of a creative studio. These are the people I help. This is what I help them do. Able to clearly articulate what exactly it is that you help them do makes a lot of difference. All right, so thank you for sharing that. And I see, okay, David, Apu, response 2 is effective. Yes. Onesai, same. Everybody response 2, yes, you're right. Response 2 is more effective because the speaker is clear about the service that she provides, who exactly she helps, and she's able to speak to that. Not, the people we hear, actually, the work that we're doing, and you're rambling around. if at that moment the person was going to give money to the business owner, it's not likely with response one, it's not likely that they'll be interested in hearing more. All right, so we just answered that response two is more effective because it's confident, because it's clear, it's precise. All right, let's look at this other one, this other scenario. So you're representing your business online, okay? How many of us, do we have business owners in the room today? Any business owners here? Okay, you have a small business and you're showing up online to share about your business, okay? So let's imagine this scenario, all right? You're posting on LinkedIn or on Instagram for your business, okay? You're running a small business and you're sharing about your business online. Now, this should be pretty easy, but let's look at the responses, the two responses, okay? Approach one, this person, you repost other people's content, or maybe you sell. Let me use the honestized example. You sell books, okay? And so you repost other people's content about books. You check ChatGPT for, oh, what can I post? You just post something and kind of just throw it there. Or you don't just talk about you sell books. You highlight story. You share a story, for example, a story from your week. Probably you are at the community this week, and it was so beautiful to see that the book you sold, a child read that book, and it was such a joy. And it reminds you of when you were a kid and you didn't have books, but you're glad that now you're older, you're able to afford to sell books so that it makes a difference in the world. Like, you're able to tie what you do around a story or around something that you value, something that is meaningful to you, something that is important to you. You talk about how you handle the client call and you invite people, and at the end of your post, you can now, you ask your audience, so what do you think? Have you ever had a situation like this before? How did you, which of the approaches do you think are more effective? The first or the second? Like I said, this is pretty easy, right? But what do you think? Approach two. Approach two, why? Why approach two? Why can't I just, I'm like, I don't know what to post on Instagram today. I'm really bored. LinkedIn or, Facebook, what do I even post? Just find something and just copy and paste somewhere. Why can't I do that? Why do we have to go through the stress of writing a story and explaining how the books makes a difference and asking people, what do you think? Have you had a situation like that before? Like, why do we have to go through all that shit? Why is approach two more effective than approach one?
Can I respond, Mamimo?
Yes, please, on the side.
So I think that approach two is better because when you communicate, they should also be, or when you also sell, because the scenario is to represent your business online. So people appreciate authenticity. So being able to share what you have done, being vulnerable, people can relate with that, and that's how you then sell, rather than you just copying and pasting with no original input. When somebody comes across that communication, they look at it and they're like, oh, I've seen it before. So there's nothing that's different about what you're offering. So approach two becomes better because you then showcase a bit of your unique value proposition.
Love it. Thank you, Anisai. Thank you, Anisai. You've hit the nail on the head. I won't even explain further, but I think you've done a fantastic job explaining that. And I also see comments in the chat as well. Yeah, success. True. Very beautiful response, Anisai. I agree with you. So yes, approach two for both more effective, would drive more action, is more likely to get people to actually do something. I'm conscious of the time now, but very quickly, I'm just going to run through this. So for you to effectively communicate, you need to be clear about what you're talking about. You need to be clear and specific about what you're offering, okay? You need to align it to the opportunity or the need, okay? And whether it is written communication, it is oral communication, you're positioning yourself for an opportunity, or whatever it is at all, when you're speaking up, you want to make sure that it aligns to the opportunity, aligns to what exactly the conversation is about. You want to be able to express it with assurance. Don't show up like, you know, I don't know if this makes sense, but I was just wondering if you'll be in. Don't come and you're talking like that. You're sounding like that, especially for us as women. Sometimes we tend to shrink ourselves. And you know what, before we even start talking, we're already saying, oh, I'm sorry, but I was one, you know, and we're already sounding that way. No, don't do that. If you want your communication to be effective, show up with confidence, speak up confidently about what it is you want to say. Okay, if you have evidence, past experiences, past work that you've done that can further corroborate and just show that, you know, you really know your stuff, you know your onions, please share it. You know, when you're communicating, okay? Let your enthusiasm show, let your passion show. You're selling books. You're not just selling books like every other bookseller. You're selling books because you're passionate about it, because you value education. Remember how we tied in the beginning, your values, and how it ties into your voice and how you communicate and all of that. So if you're not passionate about something, if you don't value it deeply, it will reflect in how you talk. It will reflect in why should I give you this scholarship? Why should WMI pick you over another person? Why should I give you this job opportunity? Why should you know, why should you be the one to get on this project and not somebody else? If I was to make that decision, I need to see that genuine enthusiasm show. That's what would determine if you get that you know, potential opportunity or not. You know, fit. You want to show how your values and your goal align with other people, and let it reflect in how you talk. Let it reflect in how you engage. You know, even sometimes somebody say, "Oh, it's just social media." It's just a post. No, it's not just a post. Every word you say, every article you write, everything you put out there is like a mini interview of sorts. It kind of tells us who you really are, what you really believe, and whether or not people will want to work with you, or if they want to provide certain opportunities for you to be a part of. All right. And, you know, when you communicate also, you want to leave, don't just leave people hanging. Don't just talk about, oh, I went to the community today. Oh, I did you took it, and then you take your phone, you do a nice selfie of yourself and you do this post and then you post it. Okay, people like it. You get lots of thumbs ups and hearts, but okay, so what are we supposed to do about the information? You know, so you want to make sure you leave a clear next step, clear call to action. What exactly do you want people to do with what you have shared with them? All right, I wanted us to do this activity, but I'm looking at the time. But let's just think about it real quick, okay? A new project is launching within your company where you work, or in your organization, or your community group, maybe in this community of practice or wherever. All right. And you feel like this project aligns perfectly with your passion and your skills. And you think it will look great on your CV too. So, you want to be a part of this project, but you've not been asked to be a part of that project yet. I want you to think about it real quick. And if you can use the chat option, that's great. Develop a few sentences just based on what you said. Like I said, don't sound like you're unsure. Don't sound like you don't know what you're doing. Develop a few sentences to position yourself as a great fit for this project. So in other words, let me put this in another way. Success is, let's say success is, let's say apart from this community of practice, there's another community of practice that is being created. And based on what you've heard about it, is going to benefit you. You love what the community of practice will do. There's an opportunity for some people to be on board to volunteer and work there, but they've not reached out to you, but you really want to let success know that I would love to be a part of this. Can you bring me on board? I would like to do this. Can you write a few sentences to highlight why you should be selected and why not somebody else? A few words, not anything lengthy. 1 or 2 words is fine, okay? And I'll put this back here so that it helps you as you're reflecting over that. Remember, be clear, make it relevant, confident. If you've done something in the past that would be convincing for success, like, hey, the last time I was on this other community of practice, I did this, and this. I was able to help us achieve these results. I believe that I should be the one on this team. Think about a few words, not too many words, but just 1 or 2 words is fine, and you can drop it in the chat. Okay, I put this here so that you see and it reminds you, and I'll take you back to the activity instructions. Okay, just drop that in the chat. Just reflect over it. You know, there's this new project, you want to position yourself, just a few sentences. I really want this. I want, why should I pick you? Why should success pick you and not somebody else? Okay. I'm checking the chat to see if there's anybody dropping anything there. Okay, while you're brainstorming on that, I'll just move on to the next things. But please feel free to drop it. I'll still check in the chat if the responses come out eventually. Okay, so why should I choose you? Why should success choose you to be on this project? Why should they choose you for this opportunity? Based on what you've learned, how can you craft something, a few words to let success or whoever is leading that project know that you're the person for this job? Okay, I'm still checking the chat. So feel free to put that in the chat to let me know. Okay, I have a small challenge for us. I've actually come to the end of my presentation. I have a small challenge for us. At the end of, maybe it could be today, could be later this week. Today is already Saturday, so maybe later in the new week. But I want you to actually take action, okay, from this session. Share something online. Share something online. It could be about something you learned from this session. It could be about something you, you know, some change that you're making going forward from this session. A personal story that you want to share online. A bold statement about your work or your business if you have a business, or a behind the scenes look into the work that you're doing. You can just throw, you know, share something, and by all means, feel free to tag me online, if you will, as well as WMI, and we can engage with your post as well. Someone is trying to say something. Is that Amino? Did I get that right? Is somebody trying to speak? Okay. I've come to the end of my slides now, so if you've got questions, you can share them. I wonder who's trying to speak. Did you have a question? You can, if you've got questions, additional thoughts, this is your moment. I don't think I see anything in the chat. All right, success, if you're there.
Hi, Emimo. Thank you
there you are.
so much.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I was just trying to put my thoughts together to respond to the question you asked, and I got a bit confused. So I'm just I'm just going to wait to see if we're going to have responses. But I had a question while the presentation was going on, and I think that was for the first exercise when you were talking about how do people see you? And sometimes I get a bit confused about that, because different people see me differently. Well, there are people who don't know a side of me. So when we're talking about how do people see you, hi Gloria, are you trying to say something? I think she. So when we talk about how do people see you, is it really like how do people see you, in the sense that as a collective, like one word, or putting all that together? Oh, they see me as bold, they see me as calm, they see me, and then we are putting all that in perspective to kind of understand what our brand looks like. Can it be multiple perceptions of who you are? Is that a brand? Or yeah, that's a question I have. Oh, sorry, I'm.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, great question. See, many times we don't realize, but everything that we do is tying together and is painting an image in the minds of people. Okay, whether or not you are deliberately crafting your personal brand or not, people are creating an impression of you. Okay, and people have all sorts of impressions. Some people say, oh, success is nice. Someone else says, no, she's not. I don't like her. Someone, you know, people say different things. However, one of the things we want to do as individuals is to be deliberate about crafting the kind of image, the kind of brand, the kind of impression we want people to have of us. Okay, and as much as possible, we want it to be consistent. So, and this, and I say this because I mean, like, I imagine some of us are students, some of us are working, some of us, but when I go, if I Google your name, okay, what do I see online? And is it similar to what people say about you? I think it was, I can't remember who was that said in the chat the other time, you know, that you know, you're was it Precious? I think it was Precious who was sharing about how, you know, she has dreams, she goes for it. People knows that she's the person who, you know, you want to get something done, you can reach out. Nah, those things consistent. People have different opinions, but you want to make sure that what you keep as your personal brand is something that you're crafting, and you want to be very deliberate about it. So if people have opinions that are not aligned with who you truly are, I think you can refine that and be deliberate about changing that perception. Okay, be deliberate about changing that perception. Honestly, I see that you have your hands up. Do you want to say something, Joe?
Yes, I have a question. So, in this new age of social media marketing and just communication, how do you manage that so that you don't end up oversharing? Because I see some posts, you know, on LinkedIn and Instagram and various other platforms, Facebook. And I think to myself, is this really necessary for you to share with the whole world? And some of it you end up thinking, is this just not bragging? And yeah, so how do you then balance it? Because you're also trying to compete in an environment where there are people who are oversharing, and yeah, and then when you then don't overshare, or you don't communicate in the way that people expect you to communicate, then it seems like you're the odd one out, and sometimes you end up not winning as much as those. And even like in a workspace environment, you know, there are those who come and every single thing they're updating the boss on to say, oh, I did this, I did that, wanting to get relevance. But for you, your values are saying, okay, maybe this is a little bit too much, it's going overboard. But then you also don't want to end up being passed over for promotion because you're not, you know, sharing as much as the others. So I know it's a mouthful, but yeah, I hope you've gotten the gist of the question. Thank you.
I do. I understand your question, and it's not only. I mean, that's a very common thing that people feel, especially women. Sometimes we feel like, oh, maybe I'm oversharing. Maybe, you know, let me just do my work. Let me just be in my little corner and just do my work, and my work will speak for itself. Have you heard that before? My work will speak for itself. I don't need to share. You know, I don't. Everybody's always sharing. I'm happy to announce on LinkedIn. I'm happy to announce. I don't. You know, it seems like this trend, and you know, I just feel like I don't want to overshare. Okay, on the side. I think it's about finding a fine balance. So we can share about our work. You can own your work. You can share about your success. And not necessarily, how do I put this now? You can still share about your work, but don't overshare. I think that's the word I'm looking for. All right. So you can choose to identify the things that you're comfortable sharing, but share something. Share about the progress you're making. In fact, I remember one time someone said to me that have a call it a bragging book, okay, or somewhere, a document where every time you work and you make progress, write it there. You own the bragging right. You worked on this project, you achieved this result, write it. Okay. I think it was one time I had a performance appraisal many years ago. And, you know, we did a performance appraisal. I wrote, okay, I did this, I did that. I sent it to my manager. My manager looked at it and sent it back to me and said, look, Webimo, you've done way more. than what you've written in here. Can you go and outline the things you've done? And then that was when I really sat down and started to realize, oh, I actually did this. I actually achieved this result. I actually helped the team deliver on this project. I actually helped when the donor came the other time and we needed to do this. I worked on this, and writing all of that initially may feel like, am I not over? I am just humble. I don't want people to know. I own your success because nobody will do it for you. As a matter of fact, in the workplace, you find times when other people are taking the shine for the work that you actually did and the results you actually achieved. Okay, so if you want to attract opportunities, if you want to move forward in life, so to say, and I'm sure you've probably noticed already, Nisan, or other people who are listening, people who talk about their work, people who are bold and confident about their work, they seem to be the ones that attract these opportunities. They're looking for who can do this project. The first person that comes to mind is the person who has been talking about, what they've done in the past, So I think it's just finding a fine balance. I understand your concern about not oversharing. So I think it's also just fine, okay, what am I comfortable enough to share? Okay. But don't share, no. Share you must. But what you're going to share may now differ, based on your comfort level, to your points about your values and, what you're comfortable to share. You don't want to overshare, true. But document your success, document the results you're achieving, and share it in some way. Own it because you actually did the work, right? Except you didn't do the work, except it's someone else that did the work. But if it was you who did the work and you achieved the results, please be confident enough to own it, because you're doing great work, right? Don't hide your light. I don't know, I hope that helps on whoever else.
Yes, very much so. Thank you. Like what you mentioned, as women, we are always, men even take credit for the work that we have done because sometimes we are afraid to talk about the things that we are doing and we end up being passed over for promotion. So thank you. That really helps. It's just finding your voice, as you have mentioned, amplify your voice. Thank you.
Oh, and yeah, and I think I'll drop it here that I put this slide still. I want you all to take action from this conversation. Let it not just be, oh, well, another session. We were invited, we came, we listened, and we walked away. I want you to actually take action, okay? So you can share, it doesn't have to be a big post, okay? It could be a little post, just something to start to push you to actually amplify your voice. Just share something. Like I said, it could be a lesson you learned from the session, a personal story, something about your work, you run your business, share about your business, something that really just, utilize. I shared the slides with Success, so Success can reshare with you all, and the link to there's an article I thought would be helpful too. Please, Success, feel free to share with everybody. So you can go over it again, remind yourself some of the things that you learned, some of the reflections. And yeah, when you do take that step, you can use the hashtag WMI Amplify Your Voice. I created a quick hashtag so we can use that, Success. And you can tag WMI and me as well so that we can see and engage and share you on. All right, thank you so much. I don't know if there's any other question so far, Success, or are we good?
No questions, but we have responses in the chat. The last exercise.
Oh, okay. Here's my time. Thank you, Favor. It says, hi, Miss Maureen. Is that actually a real Miss Maureen here? Is that, or is that an imaginary name? I see you have kicked off with your nonprofit initiative that aims to improve access to healthcare for the underserved. I have had experiences with planning, organizing, and directing the flow of publicity in a number of projects. A recent example is co-heading the publicity team for the Sergio conference with a record of 500 attendees. Oof, okay. Heading the communication units on day one, on the day of the conference. I will be happy to come on board your project to contribute in terms of publicity should it be required. Do I love this? Yes. If I was Miss Maureen and I was really looking for somebody, will I call you? Absolute yes. Because you didn't only tell me you want to do this, I can sense the enthusiasm from what you have written. and you're telling me, oh, I achieved so and so results, and I can help you achieve it again. If there was an opportunity, you're getting it right away. Great job, great job. That's beautiful. Okay, success says, good day, Wemimo. I got to know of the opportunity to be on the new Committee of Practice for Women in Entrepreneurship. This is a great initiative. It aligns with the work I do. You know, for women professional skill development. From my current work, I have discovered the lack of professional certifications in women who seek to grow in the workplace, hence my interest in being a part. If you don't mind, I would be happy to have a call with you to further discuss my interest in this role. Love it, love it. Love it. This is great as well. The only tweak I would make to that, I imagine if this was a chat or an email or whatever, that part, if you don't mind, remember, show up with confidence. So I would delete that if you don't mind, and just say confidently, you've told me the results you've achieved before. You've told me, you know, the things you can do, and then just say, I would be happy to have a call with you to further discuss my interest in this role. Okay, so don't, again, it's very typical with us women, we kind of shrink it, you know, if you don't mind, you know,
yeah.
if you have time.
You know, the funny thing, Wemimo, I had initially typed out, and then I felt, is this not too authoritative? Let me just try to, you know. No,
typical women behavior. African women behavior, yes. But, you know, let's sound confident. That's the way to attract the opportunities. You've sold yourself. You've gotten to that point of, okay, so I would love to have a conversation with you. Let me know if you're interested. So it's almost like it's a pitch, you know, it's like a little proposal you've put out there. But yeah, someone says, is there a way that we can get the recorded video? Okay, success has responded. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, I think that's all the questions. I'm not sure there's any other question again.
Yeah, that's all from here. This has been such a lovely session, Wemimo. We are so glad to have you. You've made me see communication in a whole different light. That's meant to be more intentional, and even to the smallest conversations, actually, they should be this intentional, and that's how we can improve our relationships, personal, whether it's in corporate settings, in any way. Improving our relationships is very easy with effective communication. Thank you so much. Like you can see in the chat, we are so grateful to have had this very engaging session. And just like Wemimo shared, if you want to take a step in sharing, you know, something, communicating online, use the hashtag WMI Amplify Your Voice. And you can also look for her on LinkedIn with the link that you see on the screen as well. Thank you so much, Wemimo. I don't know if anyone has any last words that you want to share, then we can call it a anyone that can unmute and share something. Maybe a thank you note to Wemimo.
Thank you, Wemimo. Such an insightful, presentation. And thank you so much for giving us confidence, you know, as women to be able to communicate who we are, our value, without then always apologizing for doing that. Yeah. So thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure. So I look forward to you all taking action. Take action and let me share you online. And I'm sure Success will be happy to share you as well. Yes, don't shrink. Celebrate your success. And if you did it, by all means, own it. And that's the way opportunities will come to you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Wemimo. I'll share the recordings, and I'll also send out emails for the next session. And Phoebe would continue reaching out for us all to fill out the participant survey. So please fill that out so that these sessions keep on going and getting better by the day. That will be all from my end. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.